Right, we've got two traffics here, both HTLs, Holdsworths. This one's a little bit crispy in areas, and this one's obviously Jules, which is quite a lot nicer. This is in the master cylinder today. I've just fitted a brand new one because when we were down on the way to Bewley, it actually held hydraulic pressure and wouldn't release the brakes, which I suppose is better than the brakes not working. Okay, this is the one I've took off, and as you can see down in those holes there's loads of gungy rust, so obviously the brake fluid's been sitting for too long. Another reason why you're supposed to change your brake fluid. With these campers sitting around, it's not so good. Anyway, we've now got a nice shiny master cylinder and brakes. I'm just going to flush the cooling system out and put some Prestone in. So that's what we're up to next. And another traffic, 2 litre T1300 petrol belonging to Michelle from Eastbourne. She's come over for me to have a little look, see what I can see. I noticed making squeaking noises, drive shaft had no grease in. I've managed to put that, filled that back up with grease, so that might work now. When you drive it, the brake pedal disappears to fluorosity's master cylinder. I'll put another alternator belt on it because it was too long and run out of adjustment, so I've sorted that out. There's no water in here whatsoever, so I'm going to have to investigate that. If you listen, I'm squeezing this hose and that's just air, so I'm going to have to quickly fill it up with water and bleed it out. I don't know when that was last looked at. Anyway, I shall carry on. Okay, today, because we're only supposed to be looking at it, all I've done for the minute is just filled this up with water. I've hung the bottle up. If you listen now, I'm going to squeeze this hose. You can hear that's the air bubbles that are in the radiator and the engine making their way to here. Okay, there shouldn't be any air in the system. I'm now going to undo the bleed screw on the side here. I'll turn the heater on. I can't undo this. No. I need a pair of pliers, mate. I ain't got strong enough hands. You can tell we don't rehearse anything here. I can undo the heater. The plan is, obviously, the whole engine needs to be full of water, otherwise it'll run too hot. Right, this is a little bleed screw, which should be finger tight, but depending on when it's last undone. Right, take that out. You can hear some hissing noises. Yeah, you can hear it. And predictably there's no water up there either. You can just, as Phil's squeezing it, it's making its way out. Right, that's lovely brown water, very nice. Okay, right, just let it hang for the minute, Phil. We're going to have to let it bleed itself. Right, the normal trick is, yeah, see, gravity from the water here will find its way. That's lovely, isn't it? And then you screw that up, put the lid in. Right, now when I squeeze the hose, you don't get the air noise. Right, so now I'm going to start the engine up and run it, and ordinarily if I had a manual fan you let it run until the fan cuts in and then undo this screw up here to make sure you've got all the air out. But this has got an override switch and no relay in this particular vehicle, so we'll have to improvise. Alright, start her up, Phil. Yeah. Let go. Right, I'm not going to waste a lot more video, but I'm going to wait for it to warm up a little bit more to get the water circulating around the system. Right, because this is a Renault Traffic, what people do is put switches everywhere. Very important. Mystery ones and wires. This one's the switch which earlier on was making the fan work. And what I've discovered is the doesn't work. So I've been under here and there's a dodgy connection. So I'm just going to have to sort that out under there. When I unplug that, it works and doesn't work. So this is the offending item. It's on a little bit of loom hanging underneath the alternator. If you look in there, the red pin is all burnt and disappeared. So I'll have to clean it up, see what I can do with that. Right, when I drove this in, the oil light was flashing on as it was hot, and I thought, oh, it might be low on oil, or it's got oil pressure problems. I actually checked the oil on the dipstick because the customer said she'd had the oil changed. It's in a silly place now. I've put the plastic bottle back in. Right, what I've noticed is I think they've put fully synthetic, very thin oil in here, which isn't helping. I also noticed that although it's been serviced, you can actually look in here, we've got rusty spark plugs, so I suspect they didn't get changed. But unfortunately we've got no invoicing to tell what's going on. So I shall wait for Michelle to come back.